How to use English words you already know. If you want to use English words you already know, more naturally and more fluently, this episode is for you. Before we start, tell me in the comments, how many English words do you think you already know? Emma had a strange feeling every time she spoke English. She felt poor, not in money, in words. Every conversation felt like she did not have enough. She reached for a word. It was not there. She tried to explain something. She could not find the right way. She listened to fluent speakers and felt like they had something she did not. More words, better words, the right words. She spent 2 years adding to her collection, new vocabulary every day, lists, apps, flashcards, and still the same feeling, poor, until one afternoon she discovered something. That changed how she understood the problem entirely. Emma was watching an interview with a well-known English author. The author was articulate, precise. Every sentence felt exactly right. Emma expected the author to use rare and complex vocabulary. She did not. The words were simple, common words, words Emma already knew, but the way they were combined, the way they were placed, the way they moved together, felt different from how Emma used the same words. She rewound the interview. She listened again. She wrote down 3 sentences the author had said. All 3 used words Emma already knew. None of them sounded like something Emma would have said. She started paying attention differently, not to words she did not know, to words she already knew, that she was not using. She found something surprising. Her passive vocabulary was enormous. Words she could recognize instantly when she heard or read them. Words she understood completely. Words she never used when speaking. They sat in her memory, recognized but unused, known but not owned. Here is the difference between a passive word and an active word. A passive word is one you understand. An active word is one you use. Most language learners have a passive vocabulary, 3 or 4 times larger than their active vocabulary. They know far more than they use. The gap is not knowledge. The gap is practice. Specifically, a practice producing those words under pressure, in real sentences, in real time. Emma had been trying to close the gap by adding more words, but the gap was not about quantity. It was about activation. Emma picked 10 words from her passive vocabulary, words she knew well, words she understood completely, words she almost never used, words like hesitate, gradually, assume, reflect, struggle. She spent 1 week with just those 10 words. Every day she used each word at least once, out loud, in her own sentences, about real things in her life. I hesitated before sending the message. My English is gradually getting better. I assumed the meeting would be long, but it was short. I like to reflect on my day before sleeping. I still struggle with speaking under pressure. Not example sentences from a dictionary. Her sentences, her life, her voice. By the end of the week, something had changed. Not all 10 words, but 3 or 4 of them felt different. When she needed to express hesitation in a conversation, the word appeared, not after searching, just there. The way a word in your native language appears. She had not learned a new word. She had activated an old one. She expanded the method. Every time she read or listened to something in English, she looked for words she already knew, that she never actually used, not new words, underused words. She collected them, 1 week per batch, daily use, her own sentences, out loud. Gradually, words moved from passive to active, from recognized to owned, from sitting in memory to arriving in conversation. 3 months later, Emma was in a conversation with a colleague. She was explaining something complicated. the words came. Not perfectly, but they came. Words she had known for years, but had never trusted herself to use. They arrived when she needed them, without searching, without planning, without the feeling of being poor. After the conversation, she thought about something. She had not learned any new vocabulary that month. She had just used what she already had, and it had been enough, more than enough. Here is what Emma learned. Fluency is not about how many words you know. It is about how many words you can reach, in the moment you need them. And reaching is a skill built through use, not through recognition, not through reviewing, not through adding more, through speaking. The words you need are probably already there. They are just passive. They are waiting to be activated. And activation is simple. One word, one sentence, out loud, today. So here is where to start. Think of 5 English words you know well, but almost never use when speaking. Write them down. This week, use each one at least once, out loud, in a real sentence, about your real life. That is activation. And activation is the difference between knowing English and speaking it. The words are already there. You just have to start using them, one word at a time.